Alright, so welcome back to the channel. Now today, I'm not sure why or how, but a lot of people got their first hands on F1 24. A lot of people have been streaming it, a lot of people have been playing it, a lot of people have been uploading clips of it, and well, let's just say it's not overly promising. Right, so I've collected about 3 or 4 different clips, just from, Twitch streams, from TikTok, just to show you that this game, at the moment, looks like an absolute calamity that's destined to fail. Now, before I start, what is actually funny is that in a week's time, on the 27th of May, the day before the game drops, I've got a rant planned for F1 23. It's a week before that, and I'm already making a rant on F1 24 before the game is even out. But let's take a look at some of these clips, shall we? So this is the first clip from TikTok. It's a reaction by Jarno Opmeer, and when the car appears on screen, they're doing time trial around Qatar. Pay attention to the wheel in the cockpit, alright? Just look right down here. Look here at the wheel. Ready? Honestly, what kind of handling model is that? How has Codemasters and EA collaborated to produce this shit? It genuinely baffles me how you can make that, and, surely this means that they haven't even play tested their own game yet, because it isn't the most complex thing to just turn your wheel 180 degrees and put it the other way, and that's all this geezer's doing. And apparently this is genuinely the fastest way to get about tracks, and it's actually like a meta, if you will, when you're in time trial. Just rather than just actually turning into a corner, if it's a 90-degree corner, turn 90 degrees. No, doesn't matter what corner, you could do the Monaco hairpin at like 200 kph, just turn your wheel 180 degrees and put it upside down. Like Right, so here's another clip from Jarno Opmeer. He's the main person that has access to this game early. That's why a couple of these clips are from him. And this tweet actually is from him and appeared on my Twitter randomly. Someone didn't send this to me, I just saw it. The caption was F1 24 trick shot, face clan side me. I had no idea what to expect. I thought, he might have done, he might have spun and then hit a bollard or something like that. But I will give you 100 guesses to try and predict what's about to happen, and you're gonna get it wrong. Are you ready to see what this trick shot is? Here it comes! Oh my goodness! What a time to be alive! What? Oh my goodness gracious me! Oh no! I've also seen, just in general, the handling is a lot more, front-endy. I know they actually have got Max Verstappen himself to help out with the handling, and you can definitely see why. Apparently, the cars, just in general, no matter really what setup you run, are a lot more front-ended, and also it feels like the car is really heavy at the front, and it's just, the back is constantly trying to catch up. So it's basically, even though a driver like myself, I hate front-end cars, I'm forced to drive one no matter the setup, because that's just the way the cars are. The front end has about 75.7 times the amount of grip that you think, and apparently the traction control is even easier than F1 23. Now, I thought F1 23 was the perfect balance of traction control, where on medium it was, very easy, but with it off, it sort of felt, sort of realistic, as in, as soon as you're in a straight line, you can basically go full throttle, and basically when you're in about 4th gear or more, you can go full throttle, whereas in F1 24, it seems like you can actually go even earlier, and you can be a lot more confident. So if you're on F1 23 and you have traction control off, you can go into F1 24 and feel like the next Michael Schumacher. The amount of confidence that you will apparently have, because you go into a corner, you're driving like F1 23, with a throttle, amount, but then you realise you can actually go like 20 or up to 30% more throttle than you're used to, and you just get this massive confidence boost. And apparently as well, there is a lot of difference in the handling between F123 and F124. I think personally I'm going to give it at least a week or two, and maybe like 10 to 20 hours of gameplay to fully decide if it's actually a good change or not. Although from the early signs it actually seems like it's a bad change, but I haven't seen anywhere near enough gameplay. And now there is one more clip I want to show you lot. Now this is just a clip from TikTok. This is a Jeddah hot lap, and at the time was the world record. I will leave a link to the person who made this video and the actual video itself in the description. And yeah, I mean, the main thing I want to point out here is that it looks, the actual graphics themselves, if we just pause it and go to here, no, but pause it, thank you. I mean, obviously the quality is extremely low, but it looks exactly the same and identical to F123, especially the top left and top right. Now, I know that this is a preview build, and it might change when the actual game comes out, but usually, and I could be wrong, but to me, having the, you know, this, if this is a preview build and this isn't the full release, if you're telling me they aren't even giving the full release to people a week before the game comes out, it's not a promising sign. If this is the actual final release of the game, then we are in the mud. I mean, first of all, the graphics on these cars, I don't know what it is, it just looks horrible. It reminds me of, you know, Harry Potter on the original Xbox. Like, I don't know why. I mean, it might look more realistic, but I honestly can't tell. But this whole, like, it just looks like a cartoon. It looks plastic. That's exactly what this is. This car looks like it's made out of plastic, not, you know, carbon fiber and metals and shit. Like, if I just, you compare this to F123, everything will look exactly the same except the car, which looks objectively worse. And of course, the top left and the top right overlays, and even the bottom right, excuse me, are all exactly the same as well. There is not a singular change to them whatsoever. Talk about laziness. And of course, the one most notable thing on this frame is the HUD at the bottom. What in the absolute 6-year-old on Microsoft Paint is that? I genuinely believe that I could do a speed run and recreate that exact graphic using either Microsoft Paint, I could use Photoshop, I could use a random Photoshop ripoff on the App Store, which gives you an advert every 30 seconds, and I could remake that in about 5 minutes. I mean, I recreated the 2026 World Cup logo in 25 seconds. So this shouldn't take me that much longer, and apparently, you know, even the overlay itself is quite difficult to work out. So you can see here, this is obviously the gears, and, you know, it's the same, green, red, purple, to tell you when to change gears. This green bar is the ERS that you have available on the lap. The yellow one is your ERS throughout the entire thing. And you can obviously see this is the number 100%, it tells you the amount. And then we've got the throttle is a little tiny green line here, not a massive bar now, which, you know, some people like to analyze themselves or other drivers by their throttle inputs. Having that makes it pretty much impossible to tell what throttle inputs people are doing, like an exact number. The good thing about F123 is that you could tell, like, almost exactly what throttle they were putting in, because you had them little intervals, and, you know, it was like every 10% of throttle there was a little interval, so it was quite easy to tell. And then obviously on the other side, you can't see it. If I just go forward on the video, you can see here as well, that's a little break. The RPM is also wrong. I believe it's supposed to be 11,800, but it's actually 12,400. That could be completely wrong. Some random person just said it on Twitter. And then of course there's this bar, which I'm still trying to figure out what this bar means. I know it goes red, but I don't honestly know what it means. It could mean engine braking, but I don't know anything about engine braking, so that could be complete waffle. But that isn't even the main purpose of me showing you this clip. The reason I'm showing you this clip is, look how much this geezer can ride the curb. If you tried to do that, the way that this geezer is allowed to put almost, you know, half his car over this curb. If you tried to do that in real life, you would recreate Mick Schumacher's incident in 2022. And it's not just that curb. If we go forward a little bit and we go to, you know, this sector, you can see this curb coming up on the right. Look how much this geezer can ride it. Almost, you know, over half his car over the curb. On F123, if you put even like a whole wheel over that curb, you're losing like a second. But on this game, you can just ride it. And then there is also, of course, this one coming up here. Another really bad example of riding a curb. Here it is on the outside here. Again, you're not supposed to be able to do that. If they're really striving for realistic gameplay, that's not how you do it. But nonetheless, great lap by this geezer. My point is, they've tried to make the game more realistic. They've made the graphics worse and the driving worse. So, well, maybe not worse, but it's not realistic. Basically, you shouldn't be able to ride curbs like that. Now, I am going to remain optimistic about this game. I'm still going to play it. I am going to, you know, try my absolute hardest to try and look past the bad side and get used to the driving. But I just don't think it's going to be very fun. Now, the way I've got things planned, I'm going to be doing, you know, 1 to 3 videos a day on this game. So I'm going to be playing it a shit ton. And honestly, if it stays as bad as it looks, I wouldn't be surprised if some people even revert back to F123 and continue series they were doing on there. Because, yeah, this game looks truly horrible. Not just the graphical side, the handling side. It looks absolutely horrendous. But like I said, I'm going to remain optimistic. I'm still going to grind the shit out of it. I'm still going to play it a lot. And then after a week or so, I will... You know what I'll do? This video is exactly a week before F124 drops, right? This is the preview run of F124. A week after the game releases, so sort of... I was about to say the 35th of May then. Sort of like the 5th of June, the 4th of June, that kind of area, I will make another video and sort of do it exactly like this, sort of a rant. Or maybe it won't be, maybe it'll be flooded with compliments, but basically just another video talking about what I actually think of F124 now that I've actually played it myself, because of course all I'm looking at here is a couple of random one-off clips and, you know, a couple of streams, and that's about it. So, I'll make a follow-up video a week after the game comes out, and I'll give you my thoughts on it then, but the early signs of the game really aren't looking too good. So, that's going to be all from me. Very odd video. I know it's my first double upload in ages and I'm uploading it at like 10 PM, but sod it. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. See you next time. What a disgrace.